gaming. We'll take your phone calls live here, 877-853-5247, meeting ID eSport Extra. That number is 377-678-9872. Hit the pound button twice to join the show. We'll be giving away a Madden 21 code later in the show when we're prompted. If someone's able to slide in, I'll throw you an Xbox Madden 21 code today. Larry Ridley here, SNY TV, little NBC Sports, little NBA 2K, little Madden NFL as well. Got the broskies with me today. A gaggle, small gaggle today, very small. We're playing 3-on-3. This is like, what is this? FIBA 3-on-3? We're playing in a mall some damn where. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Short staff.
I know. I got Joe Warrell here.
Big three.
Big three, exactly. That's what a big three.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Half court, right? First one to 21. Got to win by 2. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's what
it
doing.
is.
Yep.
and we're playing bus too, meaning that if somebody gets 11 and you don't have 5, you got to go sit down somewhere.
I hear you. I hear you. What's up? Hey, Willie, how you doing, baby? What's up?
All right, man. Tough day in the sports world and in our community as well. So, and also too, trying to, rocking the shirt of the Louisville legend after we got the news that we got today out of that city. And, tough day.
With Breonna Taylor, I guess what charged for it was wanton endangerment or something like that. For just one of the officers. Not the outcome. A little injustice there, if you will. D-Dubs, what's up with you today, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. I was running around with the wife a little bit. We had to swing by her job for a hot minute. Came back in time for this show.
Time for the show, man. My guys are always ready and able and willing and bringing that straight fire. A lot of nonsense sometimes, too. Right?
Y'all crazy, man.
Yeah, says you.
Cam's not in the top 20. I gave you a night to sleep on it. Do you mean to tell me?
Ain't nothing changed, baby. Ain't nothing changed. I'm going to stop you right there. Ain't nothing changed.
Woo! Lord Jesus. Just be a fence. Oh, this young man, a very bright young man, as you can see, a great father, a great human, just an awesome friend, a person you want in your corner. Solid all around guy, does not know what the hell he's talking about.
Let's keep it positive. Let's keep going.
Could make a good politician, a mayor, or a president someday. Does not know what the hell he's talking about when it comes to sports. He would be a terrible GM, my friend. Terrible. No, we love Durham World. Hey, guys, we're going to talk some basketball today. NBA got Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals as well. We'll get through that. Billy Donovan, he has a new home. We'll talk about that going to the Chi. The 2021 NBA season is going to be pushed back a little bit, according to the commish, Adam Silver. NFL coming down with those fines. We got into a little bit yesterday. 2 more coaches are being fined. We'll talk. I believe it's a total of 5 now, right? Like almost $2 million for 5 people not wearing a damn mask. That's crazy. We'll get into that. Devontae Freeman has a new home. He's going to be here in New York. We'll talk about that. Michael Jordan and NASCAR. We'll get Durbin's thoughts on MJ, who still to this day has the baddest brand when it comes to sneaker apparel, lifestyle, cultural apparel on the planet. Got some J's on right now because they're the best. Sorry, I don't know about anybody else. LeBron, all these other sneakers out there, nothing. And hey, Willie,
numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie.
Women lie, men lie.
Numbers don't.
Numbers don't.
Don't. We'll get into that. Notre Dame, Wake Forest, they've canceled that game this weekend. We'll get into that. The American race. We were hoping to have Kelly on today. She's running a little late. Got some family obligations. But we'll talk about it. The Amazing Race. What is it? Season? I don't know about anybody else. LeBron, all these 23 or 32. It's something like that. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me just go ahead and pull it up right now. Season 32. I guessed correctly. I knew it was like the opposite of MJ. It was like, we'll call it the Magic Johnson season. How about that?
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Madden's still doing a lot this year. I think they're moving in a good direction, trying to do more cultural stuff. When I was voicing the game and we used to do some of these in-house sort of like, communications and sort of projects and things of that nature, they always talked about Madden being a lifestyle. I think they're starting to put some of that to use now with the hill, the yard, and things of that nature, and also the sponsors that they're bringing on board. Good stuff there for the and it helps to have a time with the NFL. Let's not forget that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That is the reason. We'll talk about that and compete forever on Black News Channel this weekend, episode 17. Damn, we're 17 episodes in, dude. We're trying to hit 100. I think we're gonna hit it, Coach K. If they're edited on time and ready to go.
Was that shots fired?
Yeah, that's yes. Duck.
Not edited.
Tired, boss. Tired, boss.
Tired, boss. We are tired, boss. You're absolutely right about that. All right, guys, let's start at the top. Eastern Conference Finals tonight, 8:30. We got to get off before 8:30, guys. Like, we got to get there at 8:15 because, like, I ain't missing the game. When the Boston playing, I got to be there. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 4. Celtics won Game 3. Look, they've had the lead double digits like all 3 games. The Celtics could easily be up 3-0, at least 2-1 here. Your thoughts here going into tonight? Miami's got to get off to a better start. They've gotten off to slow starts here, hence the double-digit leads for Boston. Boston has struggled in the third quarter, except the last game. All playoffs, seems like they have turned that around. Gordon Hayward's back. Numbers weren't tremendous, only 6 points, but I think he helped them solve that zone that they were playing a little bit as well. Played 31, 32 minutes in Game 3 as well. Who you got tonight, man? You know I'm rolling with the C's tonight. I want to see if you guys are on the green team bandwagon. We'll start with you, D-Dubs, because I know you hate all things Boston.
Then you know I'm going with that Heat, baby. I think, the Heat won the first 2 games. Boston came out, you tried to make it a series, won the last one. But I think that the Heat and the Denver Nuggets are like the 2 teams in this playoffs where, they can be down 14-16, doesn't mean anything to them because they've already done it. They know that they can come back from pretty much any deficit. Mm-hmm. I think that, tonight you're going to see the Miami Heat try to put the hammer down because they don't want this series to be evened up. They want to make this a little bit more easier for themselves. So I would look for them to really come out and try to make a statement tonight and try to get it to 3-1.
Your thoughts, Willie? Specifically for the Miami Heat and those slow starts, Bam Adebayo is, you talked about it. We both highlighted him. Boston has no answer for him. And I'm okay with that. Let him go off at 25 and 15 every game. Don't let Duncan get going. Don't let Jimmy get going. And keep those threes under 10. Boston's already one of the top 2 or 3, 3-point percentage field goal defenses out there. That was my concern. I think they did a better job in Game 3 there. Your thoughts here going into Game 4 tonight?
Yeah, they did. And one of the things that I've been pretty adamant about with the Celtics with respect to Bam Adebayo is that discrepancy between Bam and Daniel Tice, right? And not so much the points and the rebounds, because we all know Bam is a better player. But again, when you watch that game, I think he only had 1 assist. So that's where, to your point, and we talked about this before, and I was saying that he can't have those games where you rather 27 and 16 and 1 assist versus 16, 11, and 10 assists.
Exactly.
Right? And so if you can keep him from getting those assists and turn him into quote unquote more of a scorer, I think that bodes well for Boston. And then the other thing from a defensive standpoint, this is the point that I was making when we were talking about Milwaukee, when they were playing the Heat. When you play against a team that's stout defensively, the way that you can combat that is you got to have playmakers on the floor. You got to have people on the floor that are comfortable with making plays off the dribble. Adding Gordon Hayward gives them another guy. So now they have Gordon Hayward. Yep. They have Jaylen Brown. They have, of course, Jason Tatum, who I think had 10 assists in the game in Game 3, and then Marcus Smart, and then of course Kemba Walker. That's 5 guys, and that's, if you look at what Milwaukee was lacking, that's what they were lacking.
And that's that 5 Miami that they want to close the game with. That's their little, what the Golden State had there. What was the name of their the
lineup?
The death lineup. That's Boston's death lineup. That's their best lineup. You're right.
Yeah. So, you need to have playmakers on the floor and guys that you have to play as a scorer as well as a playmaker when you play a team that's so connected defensively like Miami. So having Gordon Hayward back is just another option for them in that regard. I expect the Celtics to win. I expect this to be a long series. I think it'll be a great game, but I think the Celtics will win.
So you got the Celtics tonight, tying this
I
thing
think
and
they'll
evening
win
it up,
tonight.
making
I
it a
think they'll
best of
win
3
tonight.
series. I'm with you on that. I knew this thing was going to go 6 or 7. These teams are, too evenly matched for that. I think Boston's just a hair better because I look, basically, 3 through 10. I think they're better 3 through 10. Um, yeah. D-Dubs, you said Miami. So you think Miami wins tonight and it's pretty much over. 3-1, it's pretty much over. Maybe a gentleman's sweep. Maybe they get to 5. That's it.
Well, I mean, these games have been evenly matched, as you guys
Yeah.
said, but I just feel like with Miami, they're dogs, man. They're gonna fight, they're gonna scrap, and I think that they know that they can take a stranglehold on this series tonight and make life a lot easier for themselves. And they have it should be close. It should be close in the fourth quarter, but I think that they could pull it out tonight. I just got a feeling about that with them, Jimmy Butler and those guys. But I do agree with you, and I've said this from jump that I thought they were a better team. But it's just something about that dog in the fight with Miami. And we've seen Boston with leads, double-digit leads, and it doesn't mean anything. I mean, I go away, I come back to my phone, the TV, it's nip and tuck in the fourth quarter, and then they're saying to themselves, "We got them right where we want them." We got it right where we want them. So we'll see tonight. Should be a very entertaining game.
You should see me walking around the house, man. Just euphoria at some points, then punching stuff, and slamming stuff, and smacking my hands, and I'm yelling, and my kids are looking at me like, "What the hell is wrong with him?" Like, Boston giving up another 15-point lead. Now they're down 3. Like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing here? Game 4 tonight. Heat up 2-1. Game 4 coming up here in about hour and 8 minutes. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Game 4. Slide over to the Western Conference last night. Finally, the Nuggets got the win. They feel like they should be up 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Has some swagger about them. Love that Jamal Murray was shooting those threes late. We're here to play. Anthony Davis, great numbers, no rebounds. That was an odd stat. LeBron, I think, in those guys, typical, got down by like about 19 to 20, make the run, got it to within 2, right? Hey, Willie, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
either 2 or 3. I think actually 2. I think it was 2 actually. And then they hit him with another little 12-2 spurt, and it was back up to like 11 to 12, and that was pretty much the end of that. Your thoughts on game 3 last night, and do you think we're going to get this series? And when I say series, it must go at least 6 for it to be a good long series. I think we're going to get it. The question is, can Denver even this thing up and make it a best of 3? That's what I'm hoping for. And then maybe we'll see what happens in games 5 and 6. Your thoughts? We'll start with you first, D-Dubs.
I think that, here we go again with the Nuggets. They're another team, a dog team. They're going to scrap, fight. No lead is safe with these guys. They can get down. And they're walking with a confidence right now, knowing that we should be up 2-1. When it was 2-0 yesterday, when we were talking about this series, we were talking about gentlemen. Some people talk about gentlemen sweep. And I said, well, they could have easily, if AD doesn't hit that 3-point shot, we'd be looking at a totally different series.
Sure.
And it'd be 2-1 right now. So they have that confidence knowing that we could play with the Lakers as the favorite for this whole thing. We could play with them and we could beat them. There's nothing that the Nuggets have not already seen in this playoffs. They've been down 1-3 twice. So the Lakers, they're not going to be intimidated by Showtime, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Lakers. They're not going to be Shaq's Lakers. They're not going to be intimidated by that. And no one expects them to win this series. They're playing with house money. Mm-hmm. No matter how good the Lakers are, and the Lakers are excellent, with their 2 big stars. The Nuggets are going to be here to stay. And I expect it to go, 6-7.
Hey, Willie, when you look at the Lakers, like the Clippers, I don't think the Clippers truly respected them. You know what I'm saying? Do the Lakers really respect them? We heard what LeBron said, basically, like Denver's scary and, they have, our admiration, they have our attention. Do you think they really respect Denver? Because I think it's going to come down to that, and that's why we might get a long series. I don't know if they have a healthy amount of respect for the Nuggets. Your thoughts?
When we first were talking about this series and prognosticating about it, I said
people think they're soft. I'm just putting it out there. Mm-hmm. People look at Denver and say soft.
Yeah, I thought it would go 6. That's what I thought, because I have if the Lakers don't have a healthy respect for the Denver Nuggets, I certainly do. And I think the Lakers are the better team, but I do think this series will go 6. And so I was shocked that the Lakers were up 2-0. And one of the things, again, that when we were talking about this series, one of the things that I said before this series started, and part of the reason why I felt like it would go 6, is because the Lakers are adept at giving up leads. They do it a lot. And so they made their run, but even in game 1 and game 2, they got up to double digit leads, and Denver came back. The Lakers are really good at giving up leads. And so so with that being said, I expected this to be a long series. One of the things that really stood out to me in game 3 was Denver was really the aggressor, given the fact that they actually attempted more free throws than the Lakers made. So with that, well, I'm sorry, they made more free throws than the Lakers attempted. Right. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing that really let the Lakers down in this game, in addition to AD and his lack of rebounding, the other thing that let the Lakers down is, up until this point, the Lakers have been shooting surprisingly well from 3. Didn't shoot well from 3 at all during this game. And then they followed it up with, not only did they not get enough attempts, they also followed it up by not converting enough free throws, which is one of their Achilles heels.
KCP had a look at 3 to put them up when they were down. They were down 2. He had that wide open 3 and missed it. Denver went up 5. Strip. That was in there.
Yeah. So him especially, he's been shooting really, really well, which is surprising. And then I think one of the other things that you're seeing with the Lakers as well, and we talk about this a lot in terms of experience, where is Kyle Kuzma, right? And that's been something.
I just remember that one bucket, a layup. That was it.
Where is he at? Yeah. And as a young guy that's really trying to find his way, this experience is really valuable. And then I did a series right before the playoffs started, and I was talking about some of the guys that were kind of under the radar, that I really appreciated their performances, and I thought that they would be major contributors in the playoffs. And Jeremy Grant was one of those guys that I spoke about. And he played really well yesterday. And one of the things that he's adjusted to is, especially in that Clippers series, he wasn't playing very well from a statistical standpoint, because he was having to guard Kawhi or Paul George. And so when you have to, sometimes the best way to stop a guy is to make him guard. Mm-hmm. And so, but he actually played really well yesterday. That really helped them. Then the other thing, another guy, and I'll say this, I got to say this because I'm partial to the point guards. Big guy play. Monte Ellis. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Monte Ellis. I'm sorry, Monte Morris.
I was about to say Monte Ellis.
Monte Morris.
That was like a long time ago.
Another beast at the point guard position.
Right.
Monte Morris. Playing really well.
Yeah.
Playing really well.
Now, I like what Michael Malone's doing. Like, I like the way that they play. I still don't know if they can kind of shrug that soft tag, but just Jamal Murray, man, he's got to be that guy that sort of gives them that swag, and sort of, he's got to be that guy that wills them, if you will. He's got to be the energy guy for them. When he's playing well, they're tough out. That's the guy that I'm watching. I mean, we could talk about all these other ancillary pieces, and Jaren Grant, he played well. He's making his threes and things of that nature. He's got a tough task, playing on the wing, trying to guard LeBron and PG and Kawhi and all these guys. Harden and Russ and those guys at times. But it's Jamal Murray. This team goes, Jamal Murray goes, and Joker.
Yeah, I was like, what about that guy? Because that guy, I think he's not. I don't want to say. He's helping to cancel.
Well, but AD can sort of cancel him out.
They cancel each other out.
Big.
But how much easier would it be for the Lakers if you didn't have a Jokic down there in the paint?
Well, to your point, D, and especially with them putting him in the paint and then also having him out on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. When the Lakers come with Dwight Howard, and if Jokic gets out on the perimeter and mixes it up, big guys don't like to be out there, because when they guard guys on the perimeter, they got to space them, right? They got to get, because they're not very adept at moving their feet. So just having to really be able to contend with that on both in and outside and inside, that dude is, again, nod to point guard play big guys. This is a throwback to old school basketball, like you were saying, man. Yeah.
It's balance. And I mean, they got a good combination. They got a 2 combination. It's not just that they have 2 stars. They got a real 5. And then he passes so well. He finds people. So he's a handful to deal with. I think without him, Murray can still do all his antics and score his 40 points.
What do you think about Joker and these off-balance, wrong-footed, fadeaway, freaking jump shots?
Tough, man.
How does he hit these, man?
I can say this as a scout. One of the things that when you're looking at players,
off-balance, wrong-footed. Like, what the hell is that?
When you're watching guys do that and understanding angles, that's one of the terms that you use when you're evaluating a guy who may not be quote unquote athletic. You're looking at, does he understand angles? And you guys know this. The reality is you can't teach people that. You can try all you want to understand, teach them to understand angles, leverage, all of those different things. You can teach that all you want. You have to have it or you don't have it. He's a guy that has it as a big. Kyrie as a guard has it. Understanding angles, being able to use contact to score. Paul Pierce was like that as well. It's either you have that or you don't. You can teach it to a certain extent, but not to that extent. Not even close.
We're talking about Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray has to win his matchup big because we think the Joker, Nikola, and AD will sort of cancel them, each other out. But Rondo did a good job. But he had like 3 or 4 steals back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
It was like a 10-0 run just with Rondo steals. That literally, I believe it was 4 or 5 straight turnovers because of the defense that Rondo applied. Man, playoff Rondo, this is the guy that I remember from 2008, 10, 11, 12. That guy that was the engine behind those Boston Celtic runs back in the day, some 10.
Remember 12. Those battles he used to have with Derrick Rose in the playoffs?
And
battles.
D-Wade. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Battles.
Absolutely.
Like, man, just battles. So, yeah, as long as he's being aggressive as a scorer, it's all good.
Speaking of D. Rose's old team, the Chicago Bulls, good segue there by you, A. Willie. Billy Donovan going to coach the Bulls. Not as good as the Thunder. What pieces they have? We know it's a sort of a rock stone, sort of a bedrock franchise with the 6 world titles. They got the MJ statue out there at the United Center, but they haven't been anything since Derrick Rose left 2012 or whatever you want to call it. That was about the last time they actually had a decent playoff run. What sort of pieces is he going to have to work with? I know they got Zach LaVine and some other guys. Alex, I believe, is still there. Well, the big guy.
Wendell Carter,
Wendell Carter,
Larry Markkinen.
Markkinen.
Yep. Kobe White.
Yeah.
He gets to mold this team. He gets to mold it. So.
He's got low expectations. They're not expected to do a damn thing. Maybe it's a good job to have.
Yeah, a great job to have. It's a big city, but he's going to get the opportunity to mold the team the way he wants it. Yeah, I believe they have the 4th pick in the NBA draft as well. So they
went up and got that. Yeah, they moved up.
So they'll get a marquee, hopefully get a really good marquee player, maybe a cornerstone for the franchise. And they got some young shooters. So it's a good situation for him because he's a winner, and it just gives him time to mold the team the way he wants it. He's going to have a couple of years to do that in Chicago.
Yeah. Surprised that he went here. I knew Billy was going to get another job. I don't think you leave that job in OKC if you don't have a pretty good inkling that something is on the horizon, if you will. And also with the situation in OKC. Yeah, and I get the situation in OKC. Got a guy that's getting a little up there in age. They're not going to spend over the luxury tax. You're sort of maxed out there in the Western Conference. Best you're probably going to be is a 6th or 7th seed. Are you going to really knock off a 2, a 1, and like a 4 to win it all? Probably not. To get just to the finals. The question is this a better job opportunity for him? And I guess we're saying in a weird way, yeah, because there's no expectations. He'll probably get 3, 4, 5 years to try to turn this thing around.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if that would have been the case in OKC. Who knows? Because again, that team overachieved, and we know this. Overachievement creates expectations. So, but one of the things when we were talking about him when he first left OKC, and one of the things I said was either go to Indiana or go to college. And this job is like a college job to me, because when you look at all the young guys that are on that team, this is as close as you're going to see to a college job in the NBA, right? And he's proven in that department. That's what he does. And really, he's talked about being a relationship guy. He's known as a relationship guy. Well, when you're coaching young players, you have to be a relationship guy. And oftentimes when we see coaching changes, that coaching change is 180-degree opposite of the previous regime. So when Jim Boylan was there, he was a guy that was very, very rigid, all about discipline, very rigid. And some of the players, and again, I'm not picking a side here. I'm just saying with some of the players had an issue with some of his political affiliations as well. So they went 180-degree opposite and got a relationship guy and a guy that's going to grow with the franchise and really look to empower these young players and look at this as a partnership between these young players. So, and again, a guy that has that college experience, that's essentially what you're doing in college. He developed guys when he was in college. And, so I think those are all the experiences that he'll tap into taking this job in Chicago.
I think just now I was looking at what's the over-under. I was going to set it at 30, and I'm like, no, I might not even set it at 30. I might give them 28. And I'm thinking he might go over that. I mean, but that's the sort of job that you sort of want walking into. Like, they win 30 games, they're going to be like, oh, shoot, the Bulls are coming, man. Give them a couple more years. Oh, they'll have 45 wins, and they'll be a 4 seed. It's like, all right, that's the kind of game that we're playing. And yeah, we'll see about Billy Donovan. But the more I sort of peel back the onion on this, you're right, a lot of young talent. Don't know if they have any superstars. Have some intriguing pieces, but
it's hard to get those superstars.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to get them.
It is.
It's hard to get them. That's why
it's weird to see the Bulls in this sort of state right now. Like the Knicks, it's like, yeah, where are they? Like, where are they going? Like, this is not the 90s.
A lot of money for the league left on the table when the Knicks and the Bulls aren't relevant.
Right,
a lot of money left on the table.
We saw the Lakers. Well, they went 5-6 years without being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely want those, those flagship organizations, if you will, to be in the postseason. We'll keep it in the NBA 2021 season. We thought, with the draft being somewhere around November 18th, somewhere around there, that the season would start December 1st, and they said, oh, okay, pushed it back. Surely they're going to play at Christmas Day, right? The NBA owns Christmas Day. Well, now it looks like Adam Silver is saying, no, the season likely will start in 2021. So we're looking at January. They want to still play the full season. Hey, Willie, you've been in the NBA. How's this going to be possible? Play the full season in January, all 82 games, full playoffs. Are they going to play in August?
I would imagine so, especially because especially when you look at one of the initiatives that the league has really tried to really push forward, is cutting out and eliminating some of those back-to-backs and making sure that
the playoffs are going to start in June.
I would think they would have
in June.
Yeah, because especially if you're trying to eliminate some of those back-to-backs and really take, player health and injury, preventing injuries, if you want to really put that in the forefront, you're going to have to stretch this thing out. So I was shocked when they said, yeah, we're going to push you back to January, but the expectation is to play a full 82. So with that being said, I think they're going to have to do that. And, kind of fits along the line. I thought they would try and own Christmas, but it kind of really fits the narrative when you start looking at, I remember this when I was working in college basketball at Nike, and we would go out to those early season, preseason tournaments, and those things were big. Champions Classic,
November.
Right. All of those things, the Carrier Classic, when we were on aircraft carriers.
Maui Invitation, all that stuff. Yep.
Right. And then
Battle of Atlanta.
Yeah. And so you would have those. And then college basketball, unless you were a basketball nerd like me, would kind of be dormant in terms of the games until January.
Yeah.
And so it really makes sense in terms of, to not compete with the NFL, not compete with college football. So it makes sense to me.
It's funny you bring up the NFL. They got crushed last Thursday. Remember, we were making fun of the Browns game. That game crushed the NBA freaking Eastern. Was it what played last Thursday? Was it the Eastern Conference Finals or Western Conference? Eastern Conference Finals, because Western started on Friday.
It don't matter.
You're right.
And wasn't you guys laughing at me because I wanted to go watch the Bengals and the Browns?
Well, Gerwin,
you were killing me. You were killing me.
I was crushing you because I said it's still the NFL. We all agree with that. But still, how many games are in the NFL season? Willie, like 256, something like that? Something like that. 16 games, 32 teams, 250-something games. That's literally the worst game on the schedule. Literally. You can't find a worse game on the schedule than Browns Bengals.
Well, tomorrow night is Jacksonville.
Yes.
That's bottom five. That's bottom five.
So, and I tell you what, I'll be watching after the show. So, hey, I'll be watching.
D, are you buying Gardner Minshew?
Yeah.
Jorts.
Yeah, I like him. You know,
Thought it before, but
he's a gamer.
We're going to talk about it tomorrow. It's the beard against the stash. They had a little back
Yeah.
and forth the last couple of days. We're going to get into that. And I agree with Ryan Fitzpatrick because I can grow the face hair, but you know, as a black guy, like sometimes a little patchy is like, that's why I'm like, you know what, I just cut it. I'm like, I can get the mustache, the beard, the goatee. But right in here, I've never really let it grow out because I'm like, I ain't feeling it. I'm not confident in myself.
It's not a good look for me either.
It's not, yeah.
I don't like it either.
Your thoughts, D-Dubs, on the 2021 NBA season?
I don't
starting
know
in
what.
January.
Well, first off, I'm glad that they're going to take a break. These guys have been in the bubble for months. They've been away from their families for the most part.
So they can go get some of that LA work, right?
Not even so much the LA work, just family time.
Ain't about no damn family. It's about
come on, man. Let them get us some. I mean, it's September now.
Did you not hear what KG said? We should talk about that tomorrow. No, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was talking about the bubble. We'll talk about it. I got you. KG and KD. We're gonna talk about both of them tomorrow. But go ahead.
But yeah, just let them get back. Let them go home, man. They've been in Florida, stuck in Orlando with Mickey Mouse for like the last couple of months.
You're talking to Middle America. You're a Middle America guy. You got a little conservative bent to you. Middle America don't want to hear that. Your ass is leaving Disney World.
I'm a dad. I'm a human being. Come on, man. Let them go home.
Okay, you're making millions to be at Disney World. You got private chefs. You got personal testers. You got
It ain't nothing like being at home in your own bed, dog.
I know it makes sense to you and I, but to most people, they don't want to hear that. They don't. Right?
You can't please everybody.
No, you can't.
So let them go home. Let them have Christmas. And then why not shave off 20 games off the season? Do 62. And so you can still finish on time. I don't understand what's wrong with that.
Yeah, maybe you can get, because I think they got to do at least 70, right, with the TV partners, right? I think it's 70 or 72. So maybe you can shave off 12, maybe you get the 70, and maybe you can start the playoffs in May, maybe sometime late May, maybe.
Just so they can get back on course, get back to regular standards.
Sure, because you're right. At some point, you're gonna have to get back to starting the season somewhere around Halloween, like they usually do, right?
Yeah. So
training camp usually starts the 1st of September. Every NBA team I covered, 1st of September, training camp started for a month.
Yeah.
Preseason games like 1st of October.
Yeah. So to D's point, I mean, I remember the intensity from when we had the last lockout, when we had that lockout shortened season, and the season was 66 games. People came out playing hard from the get-go. So yeah, it's.
Well, in '99, they played 50 games, right?
They did then, but the one after LeBron
2011.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's another topic for another day, but why that lockout occurred. But they played 66 games.
You got 30 seconds. Fill us in. I think I know where you're going with this. Fill us in. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, so this is how it goes. When Joe Q Public wants Kobe Bryant to take less money, the great Kobe Bryant to take less money, you have a responsibility as a great player to every other player in the league to take every single dime that they're going to give you. Because what happens is if you take less, the expectation is the entire league is going to take less. Mm-hmm. So when LeBron took less to go to Miami, and LeBron wasn't the highest paid player on his team until he went back to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. That was the first time in his career. So when he took less to go to Cleveland, the owner said everybody in the league will take less. And the way that happened was before the lockout, the BRI, basketball related income, was 56% in favor of the players and 44% to the owners.
It's more like 52-48 now, right?
No, it's 50-50.
Oh, I thought it was like 52-48 or 51-49. It went back to 50-50.
It's 50-50. Okay. So with that's the way. And so that 6% represents a whole lot of money. So that's how. So when
that could be a $500 million.
That represents a whole lot of money. So it's no coincidence, right? So there's no coincidence that when LeBron goes back to Cleveland, goes to LA, these are max contracts. I got to take every single dime that I can get, because I can't look to the rest of the players in the league and say, I'm the flagship guy and I take less money. So the expectation is all of you will take less money.
Well, yeah, that's how you got to raise the floor there. I agree with you.
Yes.
On that. Good stuff. So we'll see how the scheduling is going to, I think we're in agreement. Like, Playoffs ain't starting middle of April. That ain't happening. If you start in January, you play a 40 game schedule, maybe, but not 82.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. But you're right, D-Dubs. I was thinking that on the as well on the back end of the 2021-2022 season.
Yeah.
21-22 season. You're right. I mean, it's like now 3 seasons are impacted,
Right.
not just 1, and then you got impact 2. Now 3 seasons, and if you don't get the 3rd one impacted, the 4th season will be impacted, and it's like it's a domino effect there. You're absolutely right with that. We'll go to the NFL. The fines have been handed down. Some $1.7 million handed to franchises. Who was it? Gruden, Payton, Shanahan, Fangio. One other coach was 5, right?
Peach Carroll.
Oh, your coach. I forgot about it because he's your coach. That's why. Your thoughts on the NFL? People were saying on Twitter what I was saying the other day. I want to see where these charities got to be rooting for this, right? Like, what charity is benefiting from this? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, that's a lot of money. You're hitting the coach $100,000 in their pocket. These coaches
and
are
the
making millions.
franchise is like $200,000,
$250. Like, we ain't do nothing. Why $250 for me? But
well, Deflategate, we saw what happened. It was like
Yeah.
got like $250, and the freaking
But,
the Patriots got like $500,000.
They want to set a precedence. They want people to wear masks. As you said last Thursday, everybody's watching them. So when you see coaches on the sideline, the camera's always on them. You want them to wear masks. And I know
a lot of coaches was complaining, well, I can't call the plays. I'm like, yeah, you can. You take it down. Just like when you eat and you put it back on when you're done.
Put it back up, And then even when I was watching the game Monday night, they were talking about Gruden because Gruden was walking around with no mask. And Schefter had already said the other guys were getting fined. So we knew that the Raiders and the Saints, those fines were coming.
How did you know Sean McVay never got fined? He was the poster child for it.
Yeah.
He didn't wear a damn ass.
I don't think he got fined.
Well, I think the first week, I guess they warned everybody. I know he didn't wear it.
Yeah, there was a memo. That's what it was.
Did he wear? I didn't see it this week. Did he wear it this week?
Yeah, there was the memo.
Because he said he had to be better. He said it after week 1.
He did say that. I don't know if he wore it.
Right, and that's why Troy Vincent came down hard on these guys because the memo went out after week 1. You were told, and you still went out there week 2 and did not heed the words of the NFL. So those teams have gotten hit. Those coaches have gotten hit. Hopefully there won't be any more. I think at this point, if any other coaches get hit with a fine, you got to be crazy at this point because you know what's going to happen. The cameras are always on you. You got to wear your mask.
Yeah, man.
You can't just be throwing away $100,000. And an organization, Willie, they don't just have $250 to throw away.
Yeah. To your point, D, that's why these guys are billionaires. They ain't trying to give money away. Right. So, yeah, it's when I see it and I see those fines going up, I think the first thing that I thought about is that the league is not messing around because they want that TV money and they don't want anything interfering with stopping these games.
That's true.
So they don't want the COVID spreading because people aren't wearing masks.
Right.
They don't want that. So they're like, you know what? I will gladly, we'll take your money. We'll take your money. We'll take your 1.7. But at the same time, you ain't messing up these hundreds of millions that we're trying to get. Right?
Billions.
So,
billions organization.
Keep your chicken heads out of here. You guys wearing watches. We're going to monitor you guys.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, man.
That's what I thought when I saw it.
Right. Well, I think testing has gone pretty well for the NFL. I think it was like less than 10 is like a handful, right? It's tested positive last week. I mean, that's really good when you're looking at some 1,500, 1,600 players. So that's a pretty good number there. I haven't
heard a peep about COVID in NFL at all.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, I think I read something the other day. It's like it's a very small. It's minuscule. It's literally like a handful. That's it. Throughout the whole league. Speaking of the NFL, we're going to stay there. Devontae Freeman, the former Falcons running back, Florida State University star. He was there at FSU when I was in Orlando. He is signing with the New York Football Giants. What is it, 1 year, $3 million, something like that? Definitely need him to replace the great Saquon Barkley. You think Devontae Freeman has anything left in the tank and will he give this Giants offense a little juice? What do you guys think?
I've always liked the guy. I'm a Florida State guy, football guy anyway, but I've always liked.
He got some juice.
He got some juice. He runs hard.
He still have it left though. That's the thing.
Yeah, he runs hard. He's 28 years old. He runs hard, but he's got that label to me as a guy that's always hurt. The last time he finished the season, played all 16, was 2015. He's had a couple of concussions. You know, he's had some leg issues, some foot issues. So I wonder, we're 2 games in, you know, if he's going to be able, the way he runs hard. You know, if he's going to be able to hold up for the rest of the season. That's my only concern with him. But he's a hard runner. You know, short, not a huge guy, but a stocky guy, short guy, but he runs hard. And hopefully the Giants can open up some holes for him and get some yards and open up things for the quarterback.
Well, that Giant offensive line, like the Jets, definitely gotten better over the last couple of years. But still, I mean, we saw what Saquon did against Pittsburgh, which was pretty much nothing. Really didn't do a whole lot against Chicago. So we haven't seen this offensive line that's supposed to be better in terms of a unit there. Your thoughts, Willie, Devontae Freeman with Big Blue?
No, to your point and to Dee's point as well. That's exactly what I was thinking about. All of this much improved offensive line, we haven't seen it yet. And for a guy that runs like that, and that's his style of play, and when it gets cold, they're going to depend on him even more. And never mind the fact that they have a young quarterback. And I don't know about their weapons on the outside as well. So they're going to use him a lot.
On IR.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's why I said I don't know about those weapons. So they're going to use him a lot, and you have that style of play. It's something to really look at. It's one of the things too, to make a basketball reference, that when you're evaluating guys as well, one of the things that I often look at, especially little guys, is their style of play. Is this a dude that goes so hard and he's always going to be hurt? So that's something that you really, really look at. And especially given the fact that those guys that play like that, that's the only speed that they know how to play. They don't know how to, you know what, instead of taking that hit, I'm going to run out of bounds. That's not how they play. That's what makes them great. But it also ends up being a detractor from them as well. So that's one of the things I'll be looking at. And as we were discussing yesterday, I wish help for everybody. I like him as well, and I hope he stays healthy.
Well said. And the Giants get a pretty decent bargain, $3 million. You know, not really going to be any cap sort of a hell or anything like that because of the structure of this deal. Michael Jordan, we were talking about earlier in the show when we were breaking down all of the topics today. Huge with NASCAR, been a NASCAR guy. Denny Hamlin, they're friends, they're boys. I think Denny's still going to drive for another team. Bubba's going to drive for this team right here with the Jordan brand. Your thoughts on this deal, man? And you know, Denny and MJ's relationship goes back a while. They've been friends and boys for a while now, and it's a good look for you know, Bubba as well. Now, once again, is it better than Petty? I don't know. That's the thing. Does he have the resources, D-Dubs, to? I mean, at some point, it's like Danica, right? I was there in Orlando and stuff during the Danica time. It's like, okay, that's great. She qualified well. Okay, she's at the front of the pack. Okay, she led a lap. Never got close to winning.
Yeah, she was never good in NASCAR.
Maybe 1 or 2 top 10s, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I remember one race where I think it was Daytona. She came in second or something like that. She was real close. But I think this is a heck of a deal. I'm really excited about this because Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan, if you ever watch Denny Hamlin race, you know, he's always got the Jordan brand on his lapel, one of the sponsors. So that's what I think that that relationship stems from. And then he races for Joe Gibbs Racing, JGR. So Joe Gibbs, if you don't know about Joe Gibbs, former Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame coach, won 3 Super Bowls. He's been in NASCAR for years. His teams have won 5 Sprint Cups, championships. He's one of the premier teams right now.
And Denny Hamlin's a really good driver. He's won the Daytona 500, not once, not twice, thrice.
He's won 6 races this year, and he's in the stable with Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., the young Eric Jones is a young driver. So, you know,
he's a top 10 guy.
Joe Gibbs has 4 guys right now, and they run with Toyota. So for what I've been reading,
damn, D-Dubs, you know all this?
Yeah. So for what I've been reading, what's going to happen is, as you said, Hamlin and Jordan are going to do this thing together. Bubba's going to drive for them, but it's also linked, I think, to Joe Gibbs. They're probably going to get with racing. Your equipment means everything.
Oh yeah, you bet.
So if they can get some
only
of
this
Joe,
separates everybody, right?
Right. Yeah. When Martin Truex Jr. he used to drive for Furniture Racing. which is based out of Denver, and they were getting equipment for Joe Gibbs, and it helped them. Now he's racing for Joe Gibbs. He's been doing so much better. It's about your equipment. So the thinking is that Jordan is going to be able to get some equipment for Joe Gibbs Racing. Denny Hamlin, they have that relationship. And Bubba now, who's probably has been in the highest spot he's ever been. He's like 28th right now. He's never had the equipment. He was racing for Petty. Petty, you know, the king. He's the king. But they don't have the kind of equipment that Rouse Racing
or the resources or technology.
Hendrick Sports has, or Joe Gibbs has. Now you're putting Bubba in the best equipment. That's going to be huge, and it's bringing eyes to the television.
Exactly.
Because Michael Jordan's involved. Bubba Wallace is driving. They're going to probably be driving Toyota, which has been a great car in NASCAR the last couple of years. I see big things for this race team. It's brilliant. I see it doing well.
More shine on Bubba. I'll watch if he's, it's like Tiger, the Tiger Woods effect. If he's around there on Sundays, I'll watch. Your thoughts here with the the MVP, Michael Jordan, the 6-time world champion, Denny Hamlin, 3-time NASCAR champion, forming this race team for 2021. Willie.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. And you all, Dee said it so eloquently, and, bringing more exposure, more eyes to the TV set. And that's been something that NASCAR, and, one of the things I've been seeing with NASCAR as well is bringing more eyes to the TV set, having more involvement in the sport. That's not something that started on Memorial Day of this year. They've been doing that before. They want, So they've been doing that.
50 million African Americans out there. Come get us.
Right. Yeah. So that's good to see. And one of the other things too, watching MJ too, and before people started reading that article, they may not have known that MJ is actually a lover of motorsports. So the fact that he has an inherent love for the sport.
Up in North Carolina, you can understand.
Yeah. So he loves the sport as well. So I think he want to win. I think he'd invest in it. I think it's good. I think it's really good.
Yeah, go ahead, D-Dubs.
And also, we forget about Brad Doherty, his old teammate in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure they've had some conversations.
Absolutely.
And Brad Doherty has, some comments. He thinks this is beautiful. It's great for the sport. And, NASCAR's always been looking for their Tiger Woods. Just like had golf when Tiger's playing and he's doing well, more eyes to television. And NASCAR has always been looking to bring us to the table, to bring us to the TV. And what's better than have one of the greatest of all time now getting involved in NASCAR?
No, one of the greatest.
The greatest of all time, excuse me. The greatest of all time. The GOAT.
Shout out to LL Cool J for giving us that term, the GOAT.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm the greatest, something like Ali in his prime. Here's Michael Jordan on the NASCAR team ownership. He says, growing up in North Carolina, my parents would take my brothers, sisters, and me to races. I've been a NASCAR fan my whole life. The opportunity to own my own racing team in partnership with my friend, Denny Hamlin, and to have Bubba Wallace driving for us is very exciting for me. Historically, NASCAR has struggled with diversity, and there have been few Black owners. The timing seemed perfect as NASCAR is evolving and embracing social change more and more. In addition to the recent commitment and donations I've made to combat systemic racism, I see this as a chance to educate a new audience and open more opportunities for Black people in racing. That was MJ, the chairman, owner of the Charlotte Hornets. Going to be exciting. We're definitely going to pay attention to this. I want to see some Jumpman logos and things like that on some cars and some paint schemes. We've seen it on some trucks and things of that nature. We saw Denny Hamlin in the pictures we showed it on his race suit, also on his hat with the FedEx, had the Jordan logo on the side. So that's good stuff there. Let's go back to football, this time college football. Notre Dame, Wake Forest canceled for Saturday. COVID, I think they had 7 more positive tests out of 90-something the other day. I think a total of 13 guys were quarantined, so they will not play this weekend. The game was going to be held in South Bend. Wake Forest, I believe it's been rescheduled for November 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to see this. That's why these schedules, they were 8, 9, 10 games, and then 1 or 2 weeks free for reasons like this, guys.
Definitely. That's why they opened up some of those dates, those weekends, because they knew that this was going to happen. So, luckily, they got some free dates and they were able to move the schedule. But hopefully they can get the game in somewhere down the road. And
November 3rd.
So, we can't be surprised. I mean, this has been going on with.
Or is it October 3rd?
I think it's October 3rd.
I think it's October 3rd.
October 3rd.
Yeah, it's actually just 1 week. They both have off weeks, October 3rd.
Okay. Yeah, we've been seeing this even in the summer with LSU. They had a couple. UNC had, their scare a couple of months ago on campus. So this is something that's probably not going to go away in the fall, especially now we're getting into flu season.
13 players in isolation, 10 technically in quarantine, according to the press release by University of Notre Dame. Your thoughts here, A. Willie? Good decision here. Anytime you get more than, you get more than 3, 4, or 5, you get more than a handful, it's like, all right, we got to sit it down. We got to shut it down.
Yeah, and Notre Dame, as D, you were saying, all the schools that had their issues. Notre Dame had their issues in the summer early as well. So this is the second round, and Houston has had 4 openers canceled, 4 season openers for Houston canceled. And the other thing, so for me, and this is one of the things that I really started thinking about when you start looking at like that players coalition in the Pac-12, and those guys are pushing for they're pushing for lifetime healthcare. That is really needed because, as we all know, when you're trying to get health insurance, life insurance, what's one of the things that they ask you? What are your pre-existing conditions? So some companies will decide not to insure you because of that, or you'll have to pay a higher premium because of pre-existing conditions. So with that being said, and the fact that we don't even know the real long-term effects of COVID, we've heard about the heart events, the cardiac events, and now we're starting to hear about neurological and cognitive events as well associated with long-term people that have had it for a long time. So with that being said,
to go along with the respiratory issues too.
Yes, exactly. So with all of those things, and now you're telling me that, okay, I did this, I subjected myself to this so I could go and play for you guys university. And we all know this, the vast majority of them are not going to be in the NFL. It doesn't matter if they play at Alabama or Notre Dame. Most of them aren't going to the league. So with that being said, I got to have some health care. So I really want the players to continue to match.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, like in college, you are sort of technically covered, but not really. You use your own insurance.
Yeah, exactly. I lived it. Exactly.
Yeah, I lived it too. You're right.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. So with that being said,
crazy, Honduras. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you're getting a history lesson. That is a fact. At least that was the case when I played. I think it's still that way.
Yeah. So
Coach K, did you know that? Did you know that? Yeah. Oh, there you go. You learned something today. Go ahead.
I need some lifetime health care. That's what I need. Yeah. I need that Roger Goodell plan.
That's Obama. Remember they had the Obamacare? They were talking about those Cadillac plans. That's a Cadillac plan.
That's what I need. I need that player's price plan. That's what I need.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. We'll move on. A couple more topics here. American Race, season 32.
Wow.
Coming out, featuring our dear friend, and we'll talk about it again tomorrow, hopefully, if she's on, Kelly Wells Brinkley, and her BFF, who I met on Instagram not too long ago, Lavon. Both of them hurlers, beautiful people inside and out. Going to be participating in this tremendous TV show on CBS. Not going to spoil it, but yeah, check it out. You got some thoughts? Our girl will get her thoughts on it too tomorrow. That Kelly Wells is going to be on the American Race. What's it called? The American Race or just the Amazing Race? The Amazing Race. Why did I say American? What's wrong with me? My head's on the basketball game. I'm trying to get out of it. Amazing Race. Amazing Race.
I love it. I love watching, I love the Olympics. I love watching the women run. I've seen bits and pieces of that show, and it seems like you're one with your teammate. You got to work together. You can't survive without each other to get through that race. So it's kind of exciting. So I look forward to seeing that show.
The Amazing Race. What is this? The 32nd one? I believe. Yeah. I think it is actually. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's 11 teams, right? You got some average people, like I know there's like, I don't know, like couples, or you could be friends or neighbors or business associates or whatever. It's it's just throw them all in a hat and
you're going like from city or country to country, jumping in helicopters and all kinds of stuff. So that's gonna be really exciting to watch Kelly run.
Yeah. Oh, really? I want to literally see her run. Like, where your form at, girl? Get those hips up, get those knees up. High knees. Let's go.
I hope she don't run out of gas.
She's chasing around toddlers right now. But she good. Your thoughts, A. Willie?
Hey, shout out to Kelly for doing this. I can't wait to watch it. I like watching it. Especially going to be tuned in because our sister is on there.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I'm looking to as well is, as you all say, you have friends, you have couples, you have all those things. And yes, it touches you from an athletic standpoint. But one of the things that she said about hurdling is she said this is the thinking person's sport for track. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of that ingenuity at work as well. So shout out to Kelly.
You do need to have a game plan, and you do need to have your head screwed on straight, and you guys do need to sort of focus and sort of use each other and formulate a plan to sort of matriculate through the race. So that's good stuff there. The Amazing Race season 32 is upon us. Kelly Wills Brinkley will be a part of the show. We'll be definitely watching, and we'll get some updates maybe weekly as the show progresses, and ask her about it. And I'm sure we'll add it on to the esports segment part of the show and get her thoughts on it. If Kelly can get power out there in Houston, they get hit with like tropical storms and hurricanes every other week now. It seems
I see all kind of flooded and stuff in Houston.
I know,
it's crazy.
Kelly, stay safe. I know she had something to do with some family obligations tonight, so hopefully we'll see her tomorrow. Madden Championship Series here. We talked about it. You got the King of the Hill. You got the Yard. You got Derwin James versus the World. They've got some big-time sponsors, guys, with Madden. I mean, this is the power of esports and the association, let's be honest and be frank, with the NFL, the National Football League. You look at sponsors like Gillette, Snickers. Snickers was there my last year. I did the pregame, if I'm not mistaken, and halftime. Was that 2018, 17, somewhere around there? Oakley's on board. Pizza Hut's been on there the last few years now. They've got the stadium naming rights when you play at Pizza Hut Stadium. And also Campbell's Chunky Soup. Also, Campbell's is on board this year. So Gillette, Oakley, Campbell's, new sponsors there. And all of them, when you look at the press releases, they talked about the affiliation with the NFL, basically. Let's just be honest, and how important that is, and how, it's, the symmetry there. And, you got, the fans of the NFL and this sort of demographic. It sort of lend itself to working together and forming this partnership and this sponsorship. You guys' thoughts on this? MCS with all of these big sponsors, if you will, in esports. We'll go with you, D-Dubs.
I mean, they're doing a good job, Madden, getting everybody to tune in, Derwin James, getting, rappers, high celebrity rappers.
It's for the culture, man.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get eyeballs to tune in.
Well, no, hold on, D. You know what it takes to get eyeballs to tune in. Our ship has got to be in the water.
Yeah. You put on, was it Quavo on TV?
Quavo, Lil Baby.
Yeah, Lil Baby. And people, I know who he is, but, he's supposed to be one of the hottest things out. And everybody knows, Migos. So you get those guys on board. People are going to tune in. There's a generation that follows those guys. So, they doing the right thing. They about making that money. So
and they're paying the players to play like the King of the Hill. I believe Pavon won like $4,000 last night.
Yeah.
Next week the winner gets $6,000. Literally playing one game of Madden, $4,000. I think they're smart about this way they're attacking this. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, just to play a video game for a half hour, you could win $4,000 if you're that good.
Your boy Pavon, he took out Kiev. I need to try to reach out to him. I know he reached out to me on LinkedIn, so maybe we'll try to get him on the show and then ask him about his experiences on the King of the Hill. He's a big Raiders fan, so I know him and A. Woolley will hit it off. He's like the face of the Raiders fans in Madden. Like he's true, huge Raider fan. So, A. Woolley, your thoughts, man, with our boat in the water, baby?
No question. Was it David Banner that said stunting is a habit? Get like me. Is that what he said? Right. So what they're trying to do.
Real girls get down on the floor too.
I'll leave that one alone.
You go to Tougaloo.
I'll leave that one alone. but what they're doing is really making these leagues really they're making them really reminiscent of and look like the traditional NFL as they're putting their money in. And one of the things that we know about the NFL and one of the things that we know about owners and people in the NFL as well is that they are hustlers, right? So they're all about that cheese. So when you're asking me to pay billions of dollars to buy a team, you're asking me to build a stadium, you're asking me to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in salary, I need to find a way to realize and recoup some of this revenue. So, and this is one of the ways that they continue to do it, investing in this esports, getting other people, getting our folks to be tastemakers and influencers and, basically driving the culture. So this is right on brand. This is what I expect. And, you know, as you said, LL, it's great to have an association with the NFL.
You damn right it is. Gillette, they've got a sponsored segment where like it's called the Style Zone. So like you can customize the player's appearance, you can shave it and stuff like that. Perfect. I mean, perfect branding,
Yeah.
perfect symmetry and synergy there. Things of that nature. You got Snickers. We're all, you know, we're not ourselves. We don't have a Snickers. You know, all that good stuff. So it works out. Chunkies. You know, Campbell's soup. We see all the Dak commercials. That's got like what 40 daggone Campbell's commercials. So we see the significance there. Oakley, they're sponsoring Derwin James, James versus the World. Yeah, a very good partnership where you can see the benefits for all parties. Lastly, before we get out here, guys, Compete Forever on Black News Channel this weekend. Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. Eastern as well, both days. Episode 17, it's our Langston Line Camp NBA 2K Championship. The best students, 8 of the best students at Langston University will score off to play for, you know, hundreds of dollars and cash as well. It'll be myself and Renee Montgomery, the 2-time WNBA champ, fellow co-host here on Esports Extra. That will happen this Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern on Black News Channel. You can get Black News Channel on Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, Charter, Spectrum. Also, DirecTV and AT&T recently was added last month. I watch it on DirecTV if you have DirecTV, which a lot of people do. It's channel 342 on DirecTV. Charter Spectrum, it's weird. Like, I don't know, it's like 206 in Orlando and Miami and 2-something in Charlotte. You got to check your local listeners, but it's definitely there on those channels. So in 60 to 70 million homes now, so definitely helps us out. We're really appreciative of that to see these events that we all work hard for airing on the weekends. Any final thoughts, guys, before we get out of here and come back tomorrow? This was good, man. We got out here in about an hour, dude. Good stuff.
Yeah. I know the big news that I think we heard today, we'll talk about it tomorrow, is Tyrod Taylor and his situation.
Oh, yes, we're going to get into that.
In San Diego. That was definitely unfortunate. I'm happy that he's okay, because that could have really turned out bad.
Can you say malpractice?
No question.
I mean, that is malpractice, bro.
It was an accident, you know?
You still get sued for that.
Yeah, you get sued for anything in America.
Exactly.
Just about anything. Exactly. I'm pretty sure there's like all kinds of lawyers ringing his phone.
And they call it, what do they call it? Ambulance chases? We're a litigious society. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what Pac say, it's not the way we made it. That's just the way it is.
I love it when you bring it home, man. That is apropos, bro. I love it. Absolutely. Yeah, man. You look at all these, you know, like all these, like we're watching Black News Channel, a lot of commercials they run. It's like mesothelioma and stuff. It's like this is the type of stuff that, you know, he should be having, man. Like you got all these, you know,
class
action lawsuits out there. Dude, and your GIF was funny, dude. Playing freaking, what was that?
Operation.
And I have that game here.
I was thinking about that.
We have it too.
Yeah.
We play it with our daughter. We got it too.
I play with my niece, and she always cheats. But
all right. Anybody got 30 seconds to go, but I'll let you finish. 30 seconds. You want to call in? I'm giving away a Madden 21 code now. 30 seconds before we get off the air. You literally got 30 seconds. 877-853-5247. Meeting ID esports extra 377-678-9872. Hit the pound button twice on the show to the bottom of the screen if you want to call in. 30 seconds. I'm giving away a Madden code. If not, we'll try again tomorrow. Not gonna wait all night. Go ahead, Willie.
Shout out to Kelly. Shout out to Renee. Shout out to OG.
That's absolutely. Yeah, our thoughts are with you, bro. I know he's got some stuff he's got that he's taking care of. Also, Kelly taking care of the family and some other obligations. So absolutely shout out to those folks as well. You guys back tomorrow? Everybody good?
Yeah.
We in the saddle.
Did the boss say it's okay, Willie?
Of course. The boss already gave me the approval. I know better to check ahead of time.
Okay, just making sure.
I've been programmed.
It's funny, but it's true.
Program.
True. Program.
And you know what? You got you a good one, dude. And fall in line, bro. I'm telling you, keeper. Grass ain't green on the other side, man. Ask Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
See, it's too early in the season. It's 2 games in.
It's greener for Cam. It ain't greener for Tom Brady.
It's still 2 games in. He 1-1, and they both 1-1.
They both 1-1.
They're
both 1-1.
Check back in November.
All right, guys, throw them up, man. Throw them up. The A's. Hey, that's right.
Look at
See you guys.
Hey,
Renee, Serena, and if you want your face beat to the gods, the best makeup artist in America, hands down. Kimberly Cruz, Nalisa Acevedo, Torres. Yes, sir.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Shameless. Very shameless. My baby though. All good. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Esports Extra, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports and esports. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here, twitch.tv/CompetForever, Facebook, and also YouTube.